Hello there, and welcome back to Midlife Rises. I'm Cheryl. I did my voting. I hope that you took the time and had your voice heard. This time, there is no playing around. I mean, you have to take time to go and do your voting. It's just so much dependent on it. Yourself, your children, your grandchildren. It's so much. I've talked to you a few times about keeping the right set of people in your circle. I'm covering this a lot now because it's a very important topic. The time that we're in right now, the pandemic, where we have to work so much harder to stay in high spirits, you have others that are just not versed on that. And, in life on a whole, it's like that hierarchy where you have someone that's higher on the food chain, and a lot of us are dependent on them to feel good about ourselves, to feel good within ourselves. And I just want to point out that you really have to reach to the point where you're standing on your own 2 feet at that level, because if someone is responsible for your peace, your happiness, your comfort, and they're aware of that, they can actually tap in and disrupt that balance. This is why it's so important to feel good within yourself, to stand on the right rock. Because if you're not, then a lot of very bad things can happen. It's serious right now for more than one reason. We talk about the pandemic, that's one thing. But in general, in midlife, you're more versed, you're more in tune with who's done what. You have more of an insight to all of the negative things that have happened, all that can happen. And that has a tendency to interfere with our well being, our outlook, our high spirits, and so on. These things can get tampered with. So on top of you trying to stay happy within yourself and to find ways and means to make yourself comfortable, happy, and stay healthy, you've got to really watch who's in your circle, because again, if that person is aware of the kind of power they have over you, and you should never ever give anyone that kind of power, they can use it to their advantage. Whomever, if you find that that person is interfering with your well-being or trying to disrupt your comfort, then you have no right keeping that individual in your circle. Not now, not ever. Learn how to make yourself happy. Because when your happiness and comfort is by your own accord, then you could control the way you're feeling. I mean, it's very difficult again at this point, but you've got to be conscious of who plays what part and work to keep things in line. When you're versed on these things, that is where the bitterness, the anger, and so on comes in. And you've got to stay neutral. You've got to work to keep yourself in line, because being angry and bitter is not going to change anything. A lot of people who are not happy within themselves are looking around for others to take it out on, to bring into their circle of misery. And God forbid if you are in that person's hands in any way, form, or fashion. Because from experience, I can tell you, when someone is in a position, an angry person, a bitter person, a miserable person, is in a position to make your life a living hell, they're going to do exactly that. And so this is why I always talk about keeping the right set of people in your circle. Now, there are times that you don't have a choice, but when you do, it's plain and simple. You've got to take them out of your circle. You have got to remove these individuals, because all that's going to happen is you're going to be absolutely tortured. You just got to pay attention, and that again is where the emotional intelligence comes in. And when you have identified, which we can do anyways from the experiences that we've had, some of us go way overboard. I am guilty of that sometimes, because when you've been through something, the same experience over and over and over, it is easy to jump to conclusions. It is easy to misinterpret what's taking place. But when you have taken the time and you can identify in the right manner, then you've got to make your move. Because at the end of the day, with all that's going on, we've got to find our comfort. We've got to find our happiness. And the way you do that is by just putting yourself in the right settings and remove the individuals that are not sinking. So we are turning back time. In a short while, time will be turning back. It'll be getting dark at 4. So you've got to work even harder to stay in high spirits because, sunshine and stuff, it does interfere with the personality. So just become aware of all of this stuff. Be versed on what's taking place and work hard. Don't stop looking for ways and means to keep yourself happy, centered, and healthy. All right? Check us out at midliferises.com. We do have some updating to do. That's going to be taking place very soon. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking on that bell icon and get out there and vote. Have your voice heard. All right? And we will see you next time. Take care now.